हेलो माय डियर लॉ लर्नर्स, आज हम देखने वाले हैं 23 जून 2026 का हमारा द हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर। एंड आज एज प्रॉमिस्ड हम क्या करने वाले हैं, यस, एडिटोरियल्स का हम आज पढ़ने वाले हैं, एडिटोरियल्स। सो लेट्स सी। सो वी हैव सबसे पहले हम एडिटोरियल्स ही देखेंगे। वी आर मूविंग टू एडिटोरियल्स, ठीक है। वी विल गो टू दिस न्यूज लेटर ऑन। सबसे पहले हम एडिटोरियल्स को कवर करेंगे सो दैट हम टाइम बाउंडिंग मटेरियल में 45 मिनट्स के अंदर अंदर ये कवर कर सकें। या सो हियर आर आवर एडिटोरियल्स। यस, दीज आर आवर एडिटोरियल्स। सबसे पहले हम the word that China desires and is shaping. Oh my God. So it's a very, very geopolitical हमारा एडिटोरियल। सबसे लास्ट एडिटोरियल से स्टार्ट करें और दिस फर्स्ट एडिटोरियल। ओके, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद आवर फर्स्ट एडिटोरियल, द चैलेंज ऑफ इंडियाज डिजिटल सोवरेनिटी। सो आपको पता है कि इंडिया की डिजिटल सोवरेनिटी में संप्रभुता, हिंदी में अगर बोले तो इट मीन्स पावर टू टेक आवर ओन डिसीजंस, पावर टू टेक आवर ओन डिसीजंस, ठीक है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज सोवरेनिटी। ये बेसिक चीज हमें पता होनी चाहिए। डिजिटल सोवरेनिटी का क्या मतलब है, लेट्स सी क्या क्या चैलेंजेस आते हैं इसमें। आई विल मेक श्योर कि मैं बहुत ज्यादा जूम करूं ताकि आप अच्छे से पढ़ सकें विद द स्क्रीन, राइट। सो in the modern world, digital infrastructure is the track on which commerce, government, and national security run. Seen in the context, recent reports of India closed circuit television CCTV networks being compromised by hostile identities to gain access to information on India's static defense assets in April 2026. Along with the incident in July 2025, in which Narayan Energy was abruptly denied access to its corporate email, collaboration tools, and cloud stored data, raise serious concern about the India's future of uh, India's digital and technological sovereignty. While the CCTV security breach was altered to use the Chinese software platform eCloud in the CCTV equipments, the Narayan episode was result of the Microsoft Corporation's unilateral enforcement of EU sanctions against Naira Energy due to the stake held in it by the Russian energy giant Rosneft. सो हियर यहाँ पे क्या बताया गया है कि जो भी हमारी इंडिया की डिजिटल सिक्योरिटी पे बात आ गई है कि इंडिया की डिजिटल सिक्योरिटी को किस तरीके से हमें प्रिवेंट करना चाहिए, राइट। और यहाँ पे किस तरीके से ईयू के जो हमारे सैंक्शंस डाले गए हैं उसके कारण क्या है, हम अपनी डिजिटल सिक्योरिटी का नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। सीसीटीवी की जो रिकॉर्डिंग है वो डिनाई कर दी गई थी, लेकिन जो सीसीटीवी में एक सॉफ्टवेयर है, वो जो सॉफ्टवेयर है वो चाइनीज सॉफ्टवेयर है। इट मीन्स हम अपने केस के लिए तो नहीं यूज कर सकते हैं सीसीटीवी, बट चाइनीज जो सॉफ्टवेयर है वो यूज कर सकता है। सो हाउ सॉवरेन आर डिजिटल वर्ल्ड, राइट। सो ये कंसर्न की हमारी बात है। सो दीज इंसिडेंट्स हैव exposed an uncomfortable reality critical Indian digital infrastructure such as automation systems on technology platform owned and operated by the foreign technology giants. Even when data is physically stored in India under certain existing global data governance regimes, foreign cloud technology companies can compile to provide data within their possession to their home governments. As a result, effective control over data infrastructures shifts away from Indian identities to overseas corporations and foreign governments. It means कि जो हमारा data है that is not safe. इंडिया का डेटा इंडिया में नहीं है, बाहर जा सकता है. सो हाउ डेंजरस इट इज कि आपको सीसीटीवी से कोई ट्रैक कर रहा है. एंड फॉर दैट द सेम थिंग यहाँ पे अगर देखा है एआई को ट्रेन करने के लिए, बेसिक काम करने के लिए भी क्या है, वीडियोस का यूज किया जा रहा है. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ थ्रेट टू आवर इंडियन, कह सकते हैं, लेबर्स, राइट. फॉरेन कंट्रोल, नेशनल रिस्क. फॉरेन जितना फॉरेन कंट्रोल बढ़ेगा उतना नेशनल रिस्क भी बढ़ेगा. ठीक है. सो दे आर डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनेट. The major implication is that the functioning of Indian businesses and critical government services built on foreign technology platforms become vulnerable to decisions made by external sovereigns. Directive issued by external sovereigns to deny access to critical digital technology to Indian identities could spend government's operations, collapse trade and commerce, halt manufacturing, and weaken defense capabilities. For instance, since contemporary warfare is software defined, the intelligence embedded in fighter aircraft, missile systems, and advanced radar installations resides not in hardware but in code that remains under the control of manufacturers answerable to foreign governments. In conflict scenarios, these manufacturers could possibly degrade targeting accuracy, reduce operational range, or worse, redirect battlefield intelligence to adversaries due to instructions from external sovereigns. Although software configuration changes. A case in point is the 1999 Kargil conflict. The Kargil conflict, यार गुंजन सक्सेना मूवी आया था, where we could see कारगिल का क्या था, है ना. तो उसमें एक सीन है कारगिल गुंजन सक्सेना करके, आपको मेरे चैनल पे मोस्ट व्यूड एक शॉर्ट में मिल जाएगी गुंजन सक्सेना को, से नाम से आपको मिल जाएगा. अ केस ड्यूरिंग विच, अब इसमें क्या हुआ था, इंडिया फेस लिमिटेशंस टू एक्सेस टू precise GPS port at a moment where navigation and targeting in mountainous terrain were operationally decisive. India's unique situation. अब इंडिया की क्या सिचुएशन है? The vulnerability and the risks of dependence on foreign digital infrastructure are being recognized globally. ठीक है. तो ये vulnerability और risks जो है, डिपेंडेंस किस चीज पे, फॉरेन डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे, वो ग्लोबली रिकॉग्नाइज किया जा रहा है. नाउ व्हाट आर अदर गवर्नमेंट्स आर प्लानिंग, लेट्स. France plans to shift government departments from Microsoft Teams and Google to a sovereign video conferencing platform by 2027. The Netherlands, Denmark, and several German states are exploring domestic alternatives to critical US softwares and cloud services such as Microsoft Word, Excel, Outlook, and Teams. The EU is seeking to reduce its dependence on American technology through independent European cloud and IT infrastructure, while Turkey is lessening its reliance on foreign technologies. However, unlike other nations, India's situation is uniquely precarious when contextualized within the framework of power power transmission theory. So, what is power transmission theory? Let's see क्या India की position है, which poses that when a rising power desirous of maintaining strategic autonomy approaches partly with established his time, the later invariably acts to constrain the former. History demonstrates that the rising competitors are contained or cooperated. We already see it being played out on a much larger scale between the US and China. With an accelerating growth trajectory, India has been inching towards its critical zone while facing a daunting task. Okay, building its economic fortune on technology infrastructure dependent on foreign influence. The strategy to address this challenge must be multi-pronged. Pronged. The denial of GPS access during the Kargil conflict spurred India to develop its own satellite navigation system. Most recently for efforts to strengthen the domestic semiconductor system. What India is doing, let's see. Efforts to strengthen domestic. Oh my God, what's happening? So एकदम से सब कुछ highlight हो जाता है. Wow. So yeah, migrate the email systems of some central government ministries to the homegrown Zoho platform reflect a growing commitment to India to digital and technological sovereignty. India's success in building इंडिजीनियस पेमेंट. अब देखो पेमेंट का सबसे इशू आ रहा है इंडिया को ये नहीं है हमारे कैमराज लाइक चल रही है. यहाँ पे इंडिजीनियस पेमेंट आप इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर देख सकते हो. यूपीआई है, रूपे है, तो दीज आर वल्नरेबिलिटीज आ गई है और ये भी फॉरेन कंट्रोल सिस्टम से ओवरकम हम कर चुके हैं. The model can be extended to cloud infrastructure, e-commerce platforms, authorization systems and defense technologies. देखो ये सब चीजों पे अभी वे फॉरवर्ड है, राइट? These are way forward. Now what this noticing digital sovereignty is essential for India's technological security and static economy. So autonomy. So this is the most important point, right? To de-risk dependence on foreign defense technologies, India could emulate aspects of the US defense production and procurement model. While India has long recognized the importance of self-reliance in defense manufacturing, its heavy reliance on the public sector has not delivered the desired results. अभी भी self-reliance अभी इंडिया में नहीं आया. The absence of an indigenous modern fighter aircraft, देखो modern fighter aircraft अभी भी नहीं. Despite the program being begun in 1980s, is a strange reminder of this shortcoming. In contrast, American defense platforms are largely developed by private corporations within the government, providing research funding and secure assured procurement. This creates a virtuous cycle in which companies develop cutting-edge capabilities while remaining aligned with national static interests. So now, why we are talking about America, USC की बात क्यों कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि हम इससे कुछ सीखें. We should know and learn how America is doing, and the same thing with some alterations हम भी वो चीज use कर सकते हैं. So this newspaper reading is not just newspaper reading, ये आपका opinion बनाती है. That's the reason newspaper daily read करना चाहिए. I'm reading the newspaper ताकि मैं अच्छे से अपनी communication improve कर सकूं, then reading एक habit बन सके. That's why I'm uploading these videos. It's more for me, not for you, not specifically for you, right? So that the same thing you can also do. India has recently begun moving in this direction by inviting private sector. अब देखो इंडिया क्या कर रहा है? Now what's India doing? Same direction में जा रहा है. Private sector participation in the development of the advanced medium combat aircraft under competitive framework. ये चीजें कर रहे हैं. Now, other way to safeguard digital sovereignty is to develop critical technologies and digital infrastructure in partnership with other countries. This ensures mutual dependence and the risk of unilateral actions that could undermine India's static interest. तो यहाँ पे क्या है? पार्टनरशिप ला सकते हो, डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में पार्टनरशिप ला सकते हो. ठीक है, किसके साथ किया जा सकता है पार्टनरशिप? रशिया के साथ किया जा सकता है. ठीक है, मेन रशिया हमारा फ्रेंड है. देन किसके साथ कर सकते हैं हम? या देखो आगे आ गया, आई हैवंट स्टडीड दैट स्टिल। अब वाओ, मोस्ट मिसाइल प्रोग्राम जो है वो किसके साथ है? इंडिया एंड रशिया के साथ। इज अ नोटेबल एग्जांपल. A key advantage of this approach is that it enables India to build technological capabilities without risking international isolation, unlike China, which allow only indigenous companies to develop critical technologies. Seen in this context, two recent developments are encouraging. The first is, अब देखो two recent क्या है? First कौन सी है? The commencement of the uh, commercial production at Micron Technology Semiconductor Assembly. Test marketing and packaging ATMP facility in Sanand, Gujarat, established through India's US Technology Corporation. The second is India's decision is to pack Celica US-led information. अब ये US-led हमारा क्या है? Initiative on AI and supply chain security aimed at reducing dependence on Chinese product technology, strengthening the trust technology partnership. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे यूएस के साथ पार्टनरशिप भी की जा सकती है, पर आपको याद रखना है यूएस जो है वही है जो हमारा अभी तक जम्मू कश्मीर को हमारा होने नहीं दिया. ध्यान रखना इस बात का. तो आपको पॉलिटिक्स में एक बात बता दूं, देयर इज नो परमानेंट एनिमी, नो परमानेंट फ्रेंड. ठीक है, सो ये चीज का ध्यान रखना है. क्लोज द R&D गैप. अब R&D क्या है? रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट गैप है. यस, दिस इज above all, India must urgently raise its research and development spending to levels comparable with global leaders. India's gross expenditure on R&D averaged just 0.74 of the GDP between 2000 and 2020 against a global average of 2.07%. This persistent R&D spending deficit raises serious concerns about India's future technological and digital sovereignty. For a country of India's demographic scale and economic ambitions seeking to approach partly with established power, the question is not whether it can afford comprehensive technological sovereignty, but whether it can afford to go for it. The extent to which India succeeds in migrating the risk to its technological sovereignty will determine its economic competitiveness and static economy and an increasing fomented international order. Okay, done. So these views are personal. Okay. So, but these views are very, very good. It's very necessary for making us our India digital sovereign. ठीक है, बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है इस चीज़ का, है ना. टेलीग्राम बैन करना is not an option. So next is deadly fuels. So what is that? Strict enforcement of safety norms is absent in many industrial units. Oh my god, so it's a we can say labor law related. So aa jao ji lawyers. Yes, so it may be related to labor law or industrial law, right? So obviously, so Tamil Nadu has witnessed its deadliest या इंडस्ट्रियल इनोमिया गैस या ये कितने दिनों से आ रही है न्यूज में. मैंने आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, जो भी न्यूज में आता है वो बाद में आपका 2 से 3 दिनों बाद आपका एज अ एडिटोरियल आ जाता है. which has been so far claimed the lives of 8 migrant women workers at a private seafood processing unit in Tiruvallur district. Some of the 86 hospitalized workers are in intense care on oxygen support. Since 1980s, the state has battled ammonia leaks in factories very few years, mostly and around China. Other than in Tukudi in 2024, where one worker died. Such accidents have been at worst leading to the hospitalization of large people of number with eye irritation and difficult breathing difficulties. There were no casualizations, even with an estimate of 638 tons of phenomena leaked under from the undersea pipeline of a private company in during Cyclone Michong in 2023. The scale of the tragedy at St. Peter and Paul Seafood Exports Private Limited Tiruvalur indicates that the colorless pigment gas may have accumulated in the atmosphere at concentrations fatal, fatal concentrations. The leak occurred where when workers were resting in factory accommodation on Sunday. Had this incident occurred on a working day, the number of people exposed to the leak from Nomia pipeline to ice flicking machinery could have been significantly higher. Now, while a committee comprising the Director of Industrial Safety and Health, DISH, the member secretary of uh, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board and the additional director of public health is conducting an inquiry. Distributing facts have emerged. The factory reportedly failed to rectify serious deficiencies pointed out during an earlier dish inspection, including the absence of a suitable alarm system and fire hydrant. It has also obtained a revised plan approval for installing an ice flipping machine. That matter is sub judice. Investigations will reveal whether these shortcomings had any bearing in this tragedy. What is clear, however, is that had the recommendations made by Dish in the in our case have in our case been universally enforced in factories during an millennium. The scale of the current tragedy could have been contained. Tish had recommended the provision of adequate and nominal sanctions in the plant and surrounding areas for early warnings, along with water curtain systems linked to nominal alarms and fire water nozzles for anemia. Feed pumps to reduce the impact of leaks. The government has now decided to form a committee to inspect all 6,669 hazardous industries. However, numerous checks and balances exist here. Under the Tamil Nadu Board of Industrial Measured Accident Hazards Rule 1994, what is required is strict enforcement through a coordinated approach, stronger penalties for volunteers, and political will to act decisively against them. Oh my god, I'm tired. ना बोलना पड़ता है I'm so tired. Thank so much. So बहुत बोलना पड़ता है. Sometimes I feel tired. So stay with the evidence. Better monitoring of sale of banned drugs is essential. Oh my god, so banned drugs की सेल पे मॉनिटरिंग करना बहुत ज्यादा essential है. Stay with the evidence. So क्या है? Let's see. सबसे पहले हम ये देखते हैं क्या इसमें हुआ. तो देखो यहाँ पे बेसिकली जो गैस लीक स्ट्रैटेजी है तो उस पर थोड़ा हर किसी को ब्लेम गेम खेला जा रहा है कि भाई इसने नहीं किया, इसने किया, बहुत मशीन हमारे बिना बताए ये वो सब कुछ चल रहा है. द नेक्स्ट इज हमें बैन ड्रग्स को सेल को मॉनिटर करना चाहिए. दैट इज एसेंशियल. दिस इज द थिंग. द करेक्टर ऑफ साइंस लीन्स टू ओपननेस to new evidence and emerging facts. Its ability to excel to profit and shift newer guidelines is therefore absolutely critical. The Health Ministry's recent ban on A16 fixed dose combination drugs comes on the evidence that these drugs combinations lack therapeutic justifications, are deemed irrational or unsafe, might cause risk to patients. The drugs include dermatological drugs and disease and spasmodials and antibiotic form based formulations. And FDC is a drug containing two or more active pharmacological ingredients combined in a fixed ratio in a single dose. These these were meant to improve the treatment compliance in chronic conditions such as tuberculosis by reducing the pill burden and sometimes to improved therapeutically effective. However, अब देखो कहने का मतलब ये है कि बैन हो चुका है, ठीक है. सो आई डोंट थिंक सो इतना बड़ा पढ़ने की जरूरत है ना. These kind of, so ये अभी 2 से 3 दिन पहले भी सेम आर्टिकल आया था, ऑलमोस्ट सेम, ठीक है, नॉट सेम, ऑलमोस्ट. So we will be getting it right. So let's see the word that China desires and this shipping. So अगर आप देख रहे हो चाइना कुछ ऐसा कर रहा है कि हर देश के आसपास, जैसे इंडिया है, आई एम नॉट गुड एट मैप मेकिंग, ठीक है, बट आई एम ट्राइंग, ठीक है, या या सो दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ इंडियाज मैप, है ना. ये हमारी 7 सिस्टर्स आ. So here is Pakistan, here is Afghanistan, right? So यहाँ पे एक कॉरिडोर बनाने की सोच रहे हैं, यहाँ पे एक बंदरगाह ले लिया है इन्होंने, है ना. अंडमान निकोबार में भी आई गेस they have taken something, so they want to cut our supply, right? यहाँ पे कुछ है इनका. so ये चाइना जो है वो हमें घेरना चाहता है हर एरिया से. पाकिस्तान में इनका कुछ न कुछ वो रहता है कि यहाँ से हमारी ब्लॉक कर दें, राइट. सो दिस इज समहाउ चाइना इज ट्राइंग टू मेक इट लाइक सीन. वो चाहता है कि हम दिखें. सो लेट्स सी चाइना किस तरीके से पूरी दुनिया को शेप कर रहा है ना, क्या डिजायर है चाइना की, ठीक है. सो लेट्स सी द शेयर. Just a second, just a second. Just a second. Let me just stop the recording.